Welcome, brave souls, to a realm where shadows whisper secrets too vile for the light. I'm here to unravel tales so chilling that your skin will crawl long after the silence falls. Help me reach my first 1,000 subscribers, hit that button now, and together, let's unearth the horrors awaiting us tonight. I was buzzing with excitement as I stepped into Noah's house for our sleepover. The afternoon sun was still warm, and we dashed straight to his backyard, a sprawling green space perfect for our games. We were lost in our world of fun, until I noticed him an unfamiliar man standing across the street on his porch. He was thin, with messy hair, and he was staring right at us, motionless. Noah nudged me, whispering, "I've seen him before. He just stands there watching, but he never says anything." A chill ran down my spine. We decided to head inside, but as I glanced back, the man was still there, his eyes fixed on us. Inside, the comfort of Noah's home wrapped around us, but that eerie feeling lingered. Who was that man? And why was he so interested in us? Little did I know, this was just the beginning of a night I'd never forget. After our unsettling encounter with the man across the street, Noah and I tried to shake off the weird feeling by diving into our evening routine. We gobbled down dinner, laughing and chatting about our day, then lost ourselves in the world of video games. For a while, it was easy to forget about the creepy watcher. As night fell, we headed upstairs to brush our teeth. That's when I noticed something odd. Noah's bedroom door, which we'd left open, was now slightly ajar. It was like someone had been there, nudging it just enough to make it noticeable. I tried to brush it off as my imagination playing tricks on me. We're ready for a good night's sleep, but as I lay there, the house felt different. The usual background noises, the hum of the refrigerator, the distant sound of traffic were strangely muted. It was as if the house itself was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. A shiver ran through me as I wondered if the man from earlier was somehow connected to this eerie silence. I jolted awake around 1 a.m., a strange feeling washing over me. It was like someone was in the room, watching us. The house was eerily silent, the kind of quiet that makes your heart race. I lay there, trying to convince myself it was just my imagination, but then I heard its slow, deliberate footsteps downstairs. At first, I thought it might be Noah's parents, maybe getting a late-night snack or something, but these steps were different. They were too careful, too unnatural. My breath caught in my throat as the footsteps grew louder, making their way up the stairs. Each creak of the floorboards sent a shiver down my spine. I lay there, frozen, as the steps got closer and closer. The eerie silence of the house seemed to amplify every sound, making it feel like the intruder was right outside our door. My mind raced back to the man we'd seen earlier. Was it him? Was he coming for us now? Panic surged through me as the footsteps reached the top of the stairs. I shook Noah awake, my heart pounding in my chest. "Noah, wake up. Someone's here," I whispered urgently. He blinked, confusion turning to fear as he heard the footsteps too. I scrambled to the door, fumbling with the lock. My hands were shaking, but I managed to turn it just as the handle started to jiggle. A faint scratching noise followed, like someone was trying to pick the lock. Noah and I pressed our backs against the door, our breaths coming in short, frantic whispers. Then, the voice came, soft and sing-songy, sending chills down my spine. "Noah, open the door. You forgot to lock the back one." The words were eerie, almost playful, but they filled me with dread. How did he know Noah's name? And how did he know about the back door? We stayed pressed against the door, our hearts racing as the scratching continued. The man outside knew too much, and the realization that he was so close trying to get in made the fear grip me even tighter. The lock clicked, and my heart nearly stopped as the door began to inch open. Adrenaline surged through me, and I slammed it shut with all my strength, screaming for help at the top of my lungs. The footsteps outside retreated quickly, shuffling away in a panic. We heard a door slam downstairs, the sound echoing through the silent house. Moments later, Noah's parents burst into the room, flipping on all the lights. Their faces were filled with worry and confusion. "What's going on? Are you boys okay?" they asked, their voices tense. Noah and I were still pressed against the door, breathing heavily. "Someone was trying to get in," I managed to say, my voice shaky. Noah's dad rushed downstairs to check the house while his mom stayed with us, trying to calm us down. Soon, Noah's dad came back, his face pale. "The back door is wide open," he said, his voice trembling. The realization hit me like a wave. The man from across the street, the one who had been watching us, had tried to break into Noah's house, and he knew about the back door. The fear that had gripped me earlier intensified, knowing how close he had come to getting inside. The next morning, the police arrived at Noah's house. They found muddy footprints leading away from the back door, a chilling reminder of how close the intruder had come. Noah's dad, looking pale and shaken, spoke to the officers. "The house across the street, where we saw that man yesterday, has been vacant for months," he said. He had no reason to be there. The police took notes and promised to investigate further. Noah and I stayed close to his parents, still feeling the fear from the night before. The thought that the man had been watching us from an empty house made it even more unsettling. Later that afternoon, as we were trying to calm down, Noah's mom got a call. Her face turned white as she listened. When she hung up, she turned to us, her voice trembling. "The police arrested someone," she said. "They caught a man inside another home just 2 blocks away." The news hit me like a punch to the gut. The man who had tried to break into Noah's house had moved on to another target. The realization that we had been so close to danger, and that it could have been much worse, sent a shiver down my spine. Our sleepover had turned into a nightmare, one that would stay with me forever. It's a warm summer night, and I'm buzzing with excitement at Louie's house for our sleepover. We've been glued to the video game screen past midnight, the thrill of the game keeping us wide awake. Suddenly, Louie pauses, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Man, it's hot in here," he complains, and before I can agree, he's already at the window, pushing it open. The cool night air rushes in, and we both sigh in relief, diving back into our game. But then, Louie freezes, his eyes fixed on something outside. "Did you see that?" he whispers, his voice barely audible over the game's background music. I squint into the darkness, but all I see are the shadows of trees swaying gently in the breeze. "See what?" I ask, but Louie is insistent. "There was someone by the fence, near the woods. I swear, they just moved behind that tree." My heart starts to race, a mix of fear and curiosity stirring inside me. The night suddenly feels different, charged with an unknown presence. We sit there, staring out the window, the game forgotten, wondering if we should check it out or stay safe inside. The cool air that once felt refreshing now carries a hint of unease. The curiosity gets the better of us, and before we know it, Louie and I are sneaking out through the garage's back door. The night air feels different now, more mysterious with the woods looming dark beyond the fence. We step into the backyard, the only light coming from the dim glow of the porch light. To calm our nerves, we start tossing a football back and forth, the familiar rhythm helping to ease the tension. We're laughing, almost forgetting the figure Louis saw, when suddenly, a rustling sound snaps us back to reality. It's coming from the bushes beside the house. We stop, the football forgotten in my hands, as a tall figure steps out. He's dressed in dark clothes, moving slowly and deliberately along the side of the house. His face is hidden in the shadows, making it impossible to see who he is. Louis and I freeze, barely daring to breathe. The man stops for a moment, as if he senses us watching him. Then, without a sound, he disappears around the corner of the house. The night feels suddenly colder, and the thrill of our adventure turns into a chilling fear. We know we need to get back inside, fast. Panic grips us as we race back to the garage, our feet pounding against the cool concrete. We slam the door shut, the sound echoing in the quiet house, and I twist the lock with trembling hands. Louis and I press our ears against the wood, our heartbeats thundering in our chests. The silence is deafening, and then, a few seconds later, the doorknob starts to turn. Slowly, agonizingly slow, as if whoever is on the other side knows we're listening. We don't wait to find out more. We retreat silently into the house, locking every door behind us. The fear is real now, no longer just a game of hide and seek. We rush to Louis' parents' room, shaking them awake. They're groggy at first, but the urgency in our voices snaps them into action. They grab flashlights and head to the backyard, while Louis and I huddle together, waiting. When they return, there's confusion on their faces. There's nothing out there. Louis' dad says, scratching his head. No footprints, no signs of anyone trying to get in. But we know what we saw, what we heard. Louis' mom calls the police, her voice steady but concerned. We sit on the couch, wrapped in blankets, as the police arrive. They take our statements, their flashlights sweeping the backyard, but they find nothing. No trace of the man in dark clothes. The night feels endless, the fear lingering like a shadow in the corners of the room. Louis' parents try to calm us down, saying it was probably just a passing stranger, but their words don't ease the knot in my stomach. The police do a quick patrol around the house, their flashlights cutting through the darkness, but they find nothing suspicious. Still, the fear lingers, and Louis and I decide to sleep in the living room, close to the back door. We turn off the lights, the room bathed in an eerie silence. We sit on the couch, wrapped in blankets, staring at the back door, half expecting it to open at any moment. The minutes tick by, and just as my eyes start to adjust to the darkness, I see a faint reflection in the glass of the back door. It's a figure, standing just outside, watching us. My heart leaps into my throat, and I nudge Louis. But when I turn to look directly at the door, the figure is gone. Vanished into the night as if it were never there. We sit there, tense and alert, until the first light of dawn creeps through the windows. The next morning, the police return, their faces serious. They've got new information security footage from a neighbor's camera caught the man standing by the house. But what chills me to the bone is what they say next. He never left. It's my first week at Blackwood University, and the excitement is buzzing through me like electricity. I'm Jake, the guy who's always up for adventure, and I've just moved into my dorm. My roommate Calvin is a bit more reserved, but we hit it off right away. At the welcome barbecue, I meet Emma and Maddie, two girls who seem just as eager to explore as I am. The barbecue wraps up. The night air is warm and inviting. Emma, with a sparkle in her eye, suggests we take a walk into the nearby woods to see the stars. Calvin hesitates, his eyes darting to the dark tree line, but I quickly jump in, promising to bring my speaker for some tunes. It's settled then. We're going on an adventure. As we walk, the campus fades behind us, and the woods envelop us in their quiet mystery. The path is narrow, but the anticipation of what lies ahead keeps us moving forward. We're just a group of freshmen, eager to make memories, but little do we know, the woods have their own plans for us tonight. We follow the quiet forest trail, the crunch of leaves under our feet, the only sound breaking the stillness. The path leads us to an open field, and we settle down, spreading out a blanket. I set up the speaker, and soon, music fills the air, blending with our laughter and idle chatter. It feels like the perfect night stars twinkling above, good company, and the thrill of being somewhere new. Emma, always the storyteller, starts sharing a local legend about the echo of Blackwood. She says it's a mysterious voice that calls people back to the forest, luring them deeper into the woods. We all laugh it off, the idea seeming too far-fetched to take seriously. But there's a part of me that's intrigued, the adventurer in me wanting to believe in something more. Then, out of nowhere, the music cuts out. The sudden silence is jarring, and we all look at each other, confused. That's when I see it, a strange, shimmering blue light in the distance, flickering between the trees. My heart starts racing, and I can feel the others tense up beside me. The legend Emma just told us doesn't seem so funny anymore. The air feels charged with something unknown, and as we stare at the blue light, a sense of unease settles over us. What started as a fun evening in the field is quickly turning into something else. Something that feels like the beginning of a much bigger mystery. As we start walking back through the woods, the thrill of the night begins to fade, replaced by a growing sense of unease. Maddie suddenly stops, patting her pockets frantically. "I left my phone in the field," she says, her voice tinged with worry. I can see the hesitation in her eyes, but I step up, offering to go back with her. It's the least I can do, even if the thought of returning to that field sends a shiver down my spine. We make our way back, the path now feeling longer and more ominous. When we reach the clearing, the blue light is no longer a distant flicker. It's much closer, hovering near the tree line. My heart pounds in my chest as we approach Maddie's phone, forgotten on the grass. But before we can grab it, a distorted voice cuts through the silence, calling my name, Jake. It sounds eerily like my mother's voice, yet twisted and wrong. I freeze, the hair on the back of my neck standing up. Maddie looks at me, her eyes wide with fear. The voice echoes again, more insistent this time, and the blue light pulses as if in response. A chill runs through me, and I know we need to get out of there fast. The legend of the echo of Blackwood no longer feels like a story. It feels like a warning we should have heeded. Panic surges through me as we sprint back along the narrow, winding path through the woods. The blue light follows us, its eerie glow casting long shadows that seem to reach out for us. My heart pounds in my chest, and I can hear Maddie's heavy breathing beside me. We're running as fast as we can, but the light keeps pace, relentless and terrifying. Up ahead, Calvin and Emma hear our footsteps pounding the ground. They turn, their faces etched with concern, and shine their phone lights down the path. The beams cut through the darkness, and for a moment, I feel a flicker of hope. But then, the light reveals a shadowy figure just behind us, its form indistinct, yet unmistakably there. My blood runs cold, and I push myself harder, urging Maddie to keep up. We burst out of the woods. The campus lights a beacon of safety in the distance. We're almost there, almost free from whatever is chasing us. But just before we reach the tree line, a whisper brushes against my ear, so close it feels like a breath. Stay. The word sends a shiver down my spine, and I stumble, nearly falling. But I can't stop now, not with that thing so close behind us. We keep running. The camp is finally within reach. We don't look back, too afraid of what we might see. All I know is that we need to get away, to find safety and figure out what just happened. The night that started with laughter and stars has turned into a nightmare, and I can't shake the feeling that this is just the beginning. Back in my dorm room, the adrenaline from our terrifying chase through the woods slowly fades, leaving me restless and unable to sleep. The others are just as shaken, huddled in their rooms, trying to make sense of what happened. I toss and turn, the memory of that shadowy figure and the chilling whisper still fresh in my mind. As I lie there, I notice a strange sensation on my arm. I sit up and turn on the lamp, inspecting my skin. There, on my forearm, is an odd bruise, a perfect handprint, as if someone or something had grabbed me. My heart races as I trace the outline with my fingers. How did this happen? When did it happen? The questions swirl in my head, adding to the unease. Unable to stay still, I grab my laptop and start searching for any information about the woods. That's when Emma texts me, saying she's been digging through the school forums. She's found threads about disappearances dating back decades, all last seen entering the woods at night. My stomach drops as I read her message. It's not just a legend, it's real, and it's been happening for years. Emma sends me a photo from the archives, and my blood runs cold. The last reported case was in 1997, a student named Keith. In the archived photo, he looks eerily similar to me. The resemblance is uncanny, and it sends a shiver down my spine. What does this mean? Is there a connection between us? The more I learn, the more I realize that tonight's encounter was just the beginning of a much deeper mystery, one that I'm now inexplicably tied to. The sun is setting as Emma and I stand at the edge of the forest, the same woods that haunted our nightmares last night. We're determined to uncover the truth about what's happening here. Calvin and Maddie agreed to wait at a safe distance, their faces etched with worry but supportive of our mission. We'd brought an old tape recorder, hoping to capture any sounds that might give us a clue about the mysterious blue light and the shadowy figure. As we step onto the familiar path, the air feels heavy with anticipation. We walk cautiously, the tape recorder clutched tightly in my hand. The forest is eerily quiet, the usual sounds of nature absent, as if holding its breath. We reach the clearing where it all started, and the moment we step into it, the blue light returns, flickering between the trees. The air around us distorts like a heat wave, making it hard to focus. My heart pounds in my chest, but I press the record button, determined to document whatever happens next. The light grows brighter, pulsing with an otherworldly energy. Emma grips my arm, her eyes wide with a mix of fear and determination. We stand there, waiting, as the light seems to draw closer. The air shimmers and warps, and I can feel the presence of something that's been here long before us, something that's been waiting. The mystery deepens, and I know we're on the brink of discovering something far beyond our wildest fears. It's midnight, and the forest is pitch black, the only light coming from the eerie blue glow that's been haunting us. The air is thick with tension as the entity fully manifests a shifting, indistinct form that moves unnaturally fast. My heart races as I see it, a blur of darkness that seems to defy the laws of nature. Emma and I exchange a terrified glance before we start to run, our feet pounding against the forest floor. But the creature is too quick, blocking our path with a sudden, terrifying presence. We skid to a halt, trapped between the entity and the unknown depths of the woods. Panic surges through me, but I remember the name from the archives, Keith, the student who vanished in 1997 and looks so much like me. In a desperate move, I shout his name, Keith. The sound echoes through the trees, and for a moment, everything stops. The entity freezes, its form flickering like a dying flame. Then, with a final shudder, it vanishes, leaving only the blue light behind. The light dims and disappears, plunging us back into darkness. We stand there, breathless and disoriented, as the reality of what just happened sinks in. We made it out, but the mystery of the woods and the connection to Keith lingers, a puzzle that's far from solved. A week has passed since our terrifying encounter in the woods, and life at Blackwood University has returned to a semblance of normalcy. Classes, friends, and the usual college buzz fill my days. But something lingers, a sense of unease that I can't shake off. Emma, ever the researcher, found an old post written by Keith, the student who vanished in 1997. In it, he mentions the echoes calling him back. The words send a chill down my spine, echoing the legend we laughed off that night in the field. It's clear now that there's more to this story than we ever imagined. As for me, I've started hearing faint whispers in quiet moments, soft, indistinct voices that seem to come from nowhere. They're unsettling, a constant reminder of what happened. I try to ignore them, but they're always there, lurking at the edge of my consciousness. One night, as I walk past the woods on my way back to the dorm, the whispers grow louder. And then, I hear it in my own voice, whispering in my ear. You came back. The words are chilling, a personal echo that ties me directly to the mystery of the woods. I stop in my tracks, staring into the darkness of the trees. The connection to Keith, the handprint bruise on my arm, the whispers, it all points to something bigger, something that's far from over. As I turn away from the woods, I know that the echoes of Blackwood are calling me back, and I can't ignore them forever. The mystery is still out there, waiting for me to uncover the truth.